Good morning. I know this doesn't seem like a big topic. It's about when you pay for a seat on an airline. This is Chaplain Nika, and I'm speaking about this at a time when I myself am a pork loin. I am a chubby checker. I am what I call the Pillsbury dough girl. Yeah. In my book, I would call myself too fat to fuck. I don't like being this large, but I have to be in order to understand different situations in life, it would seem. So now's the time to talk about it. And yes, this is against my will. I've had no choice. I tried a diet, but nope. I'm hungry as an oinker. I have to go through things. I know you've heard this before, but this is for those who may not have heard this. I was on an airline, and I believe it was Delta on my way to, or it doesn't matter. It's either Delta or United. But anyways, I was sitting next to someone who was rolling over into my seat. I did the common courtesies of scooting my body a little bit to remind her, scoop yourself up into your seat. I know it sounds childish, but when you pay hundreds of dollars for a seat, you expect to have your own seat and not share it with somebody. And before I took off, my soul reminded me quickly, go online, and I captured a screenshot stating how the airline does have the right to ask a passenger, scoop yourself up and stay in your own seat. Otherwise, you will have to pay for 2 seats. And so that's what I did. Finally, the lady next to me, she would not adhere to my pushing her a little bit. Then I got a little more firm with it, and she gave me a look, and I returned it, letting her know, yeah, I meant to do that. So finally, she and her husband got in a little spat with me, so I just zipped my lip. I made the motions like I'm zipping my lip. I'm not going to get into that kind of tiff. I just pushed the button, politely waited, and I showed the flight attendant about the seat. She was rolling into my seat. And in the end, they asked her and her husband to move. But it's funny because at first they told me there was a full flight and they had no place to put them. But when I showed them the app or the screenshot, all of a sudden they came up with 2 seats where they could relocate them. And it turns out they did not have a marshal on flight. They were not supposed to tell me. They just said, we're not supposed to tell you that answer. But when you summon a co-pilot to come in the back and sit across from the couple because they were getting violent, and I told them I was worried for my safety because the lady told me, I will fuck you up, is what she told me, because I actually spoke up about having my own seat that I paid for and the fact that she was spilling into my seat. That was her response, but I didn't get that way with her. Yes, she was Caucasian, and Caucasians get ghetto. It's not always the black people that get ghetto. I took the white road. Ha ha. She took the black road, for all you stereotyping kinds of people out there. So the airlines who are supposed to be having air marshals are not having air marshals. Who do you go to for situations like this? They had to get the co-pilot to go sit back there. And they made them wait until everybody was off of their flight. Holy Spirit tells me it was their final destination as well as their final flight, because they've been approached before about their attitude and her spilling over into seats. So you have a right. Don't get ghetto, don't get loud, don't get belligerent. It will solve itself. Just show them the paper, the screenshot, and if they don't have an air marshal and they end up getting a co-pilot, post it. post it, post it, post it, because people do things when people aren't looking, but when they're looking, oh no, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. We just have to stay on it. That's the world we live in.